You'll notice I'm standing in my house, and I already got my stick and my bag on my back with my stealth cams, because what we're doing today, we don't even have to fire up the truck, which is pretty cool. It's part of the reason I'm doing this. One of the reasons I like the urban deer management program here in Burlington. It's my first year doing it, but you know, let's say I had to work all day and I got 45 minutes left of daylight in the day. I can still hunt that day. I mean, it might be a half-hour sit, but I got to stand literally right there above my 3D target. I can't tell you how many times I've seen deer filter back and through here. Kicked a couple of good bucks out of there too. But you know, plus I'm trying to fill the freezer, and if it gets too full, there's places in town I can donate it. But you'll notice these tracks running here. The other piece, if I got 2 hours left of daylight, I think I might be able to slip into the backside of something cool. I'm gonna go check it out. I normally wouldn't bomb into a place this soon when I was gonna hunt it, but I feel like, you know, I can't help but feel that these deer are used to some human intrusion. I mean, but yeah, I'm gonna walk over here. I wanna film walking the street, you know. Don't be on your phone crossing the street. You know, you may not die, but you look like an idiot. Anyway, I'll see you in a second. As I came in, you notice it's crazy thick all the way around this bowl, but it sets up for a westerly wind, which is really good. Basically the predominant wind out here. But so I got a hard path crossing here, and I got a super hard path crossing here. So anything coming out of that bed or that bed is gonna hit this spot. So I'm probably gonna run the camera up that little tree right there, and then put a rope scrape right here. And the only reason I'm gonna do the rope scrape here is it's closer to entrance, which means it's closer to where people generally would come from. So this direction they might, and I'm guessing here, but they might be a little bit more receptive to scent. Only problem down in this bowl is my wind might swirl. But as long as I'm dropping milkweed and it's going back this way, either direction, yeah, I like it. Camera one's going there. One thing I've kind of learned to do with my cameras is sometimes I'll pull a camera after a long time and I'll be pissed because I didn't have it positioned just right, and I'm seeing a lot of asses and a lot of elbows, but no racks, no faces. What I learned to do is, once you get your camera about where you want it, turn your phone and put it as close to the lens as you can, and that gives you a view of what you're looking at. That's if you don't have a cell cam, and, you know, you don't want to pull your card and take one picture, but it seems to work for me. But anyway, that rope scrape's gonna go right here, and I'll show you what that's gonna be like. Oh yeah, so a rope scrape. So what you're gonna need to do this is like 5 things. I've seen a lot of things about this on YouTube. Everybody seems to do a little differently. To be honest with you, if I was out somewhere in the middle of nowhere, I would probably be wearing rubber gloves. But I've worn rubber gloves and not rubber gloves, and it didn't really seem to make a lot of difference. But what we're doing here is, the camera is right here on the street, and again, I've got a path leading right here, a path leading right here, and a steep ravine here. So I've got 2 bedding areas that obviously cross here. I'm pretty sure the food's over here, and plus the whole town talks about deer in this one spot. So I mean, I just trying to figure out where they're bedded, and I think I up on this ridge with wind blowing over their back, so it sets up for a westerly wind, which is killer. So what I have here is, first thing you're gonna need is a 1/4 inch rope, 3/8 inch rope, or a 1/2 inch rope. I just do a 1/4. I haven't noticed the difference. I tried 1/2 inch and I just got sick of carrying it. It's been soaking in some lure that I actually got from Josh. This is a new company, I think, called Pure Whitetail. This is their test product, it says, Battleground Extreme, so we're gonna try that. Not really a big scent guy unless I'm doing something like this, but I will say that I'll also rub a little bit of this on there. It's Evercalm Conquest. It's the deer herd scent, and the thing I like about this is it doesn't smell like tarsal gland, and it doesn't smell like estrus doe, so it just smells like deer. And early season, you know, there's no cycles going on. You know, don't use buck bomb in early season, in my opinion. I mean, you do you, if it works, whatever. But I like this all throughout the year. I've had some good results with this. I've actually had about 3 occasions where I wore it on my boots and walked in. I haven't, and deer followed me to my tree from downwind, so smaller deer though. But anyway, To be honest, one of the reasons I don't run scents is I've had mixed results with it and shit's expensive. But when I'm doing something like this, it comes in handy because I'll rub it on my feet as I walk out and hopefully cover up some of the scent that I put in here. But the other thing you're gonna need is some zip ties. You can get those at your local Harbor Freight for the coupon for like $1.99. And then also you'll need a saw. Now, if you're on private land, check your regulations. You usually can't snap or cut anything. You're telling me guys aren't doing this in the woods, you know, whatever, but you can't cut anything major off. Actually, in the urban hunting, I can cut anything small or larger than 3 inches, or smaller than 3 inches. So that's something new for me. I got something moving back here already. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, so I got off track. So the saw, you can use obviously to clear some branches, but I've already got a pretty good branch here to work with. What I'm really gonna use the saw for is to clear the ground underneath it. Because if you remember from my earlier video, a lot of times deer will come in and like the does aren't gonna lick up here. This licking branch that we're putting up here is, you know, where a lot of bucks put their racks. Does come in, smell it, maybe tinkle in it, and they bounce. But what we're gonna do is clear the ground and then pour some more scent in it like it just got worked, and then hopefully it'll draw attention. I don't know, my scent blown in here this early, it might. I got 2 weeks to let this thing soak, but we're gonna try that. I'll show you what that looks like once I get it set up. But I'm gonna run this 1/4-inch rope up here and zip tie it again here so they don't rip it out of the tree, and I'm gonna have it dangling right about here. That's gonna allow that scent wick to continue to drop, and they're gonna wanna come up and smell it. And again, I'm gonna walk herd scent out of here. So yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. But again, I used to run this back in Missouri back in the day before YouTube. And when I used to get my camera stolen all the time. But anyway, so I stopped. But I've had pretty good results with it. I've got a lot of deer on it and a couple good bucks in my time. I don't know that I killed either of those bucks, but it is good for inventory to know that a lot of deer are traveling, and that's all we're trying to do here. I can't kill a buck this year anyway, so this is just for the freezer, man. All right, but I'm gonna put this together and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I'm all packed up and ready to go here, but again, I took a saw, cleared the ground, poured some of that battleground scent in the ground, removed a bunch of branches. You can do that here. Check your local regulations if you're on public, and if you're on private, it's perfect. But I broke some branches away to raise it up just a hair. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 zip ties bringing it down the branch so they can't rip it out, and then poured some scent wick here, and then a little bit of deodorant bar conquest scent up top. Kind of what we're trying to do here is we're not trying to maintain it. We're trying to get them interested and get them to start it. We want an actual deer to come over here and go, oh, take a pee and go. And then we want that to become habit. So we can create a habit here. Don Higgins kills absolutely mammoth whitetails. Really love the way that guy talks about the way deer think. And he's a one and done killer. He knows what he's doing. He gets in and gets out. I hope to become that. But anyway, his tactics worked for me in the past. Again, I'm gonna come in here on the 16th. I'm gonna slide right off of here. I'm gonna put another camera up high in case this one doesn't pan out. But I'm gonna check this camera, try to figure out what the deer movement is and see which trail's hotter. And then I'm gonna set up probably over here on a westerly wind, because there's no way they're coming from this way. It's a fortress. So that's the way it sets up. But anyway, that's a rope scrape. We got an X where they cross, and I put my camera right there. That way when they're coming this way or going that way, the camera's not staring them in the face. We'll see if it works. I know deer are gonna hit it. I just wanna know direction to travel. That's what we're doing. We're trying to shoot does in here and earn a buck tag. I'll do anything to earn another buck tag. I can see him. I walked right up on him. He laid there for a minute. So, still works for a west wind. That's what we want to know. Where they like to sleep, where they like to eat, and we figure out where they like to die. Here's the bedding area when it's hot. Super cool down here. You can feel a 5-degree temp drop here, and it's absolutely surrounded by thickness and then almost a vertical wall there. Sets up perfect for them to be able to stay cool, have security cover all around them. They didn't hear me coming there. I got about, 20 yards to them and realized what I was looking at and pulled my phone out, and then one of them started to spook and the other one spooked a little bit later. But yeah, pretty dope. So we marked the bedding area. Does, that's what we're hunting. I'll tell you what, man, sometimes hunting mature does, which is what I got to shoot. So I'm gonna walk this way. Hunting mature does is sometimes harder than hunting big bucks, in my opinion. I don't know. They're smart, man. Crafty. But in order to earn my buck tag, they won't accept. Like, you shoot a 1.5-year-old, man, that sergeant might not give you credit for that. And you have to shoot 3 does this year to earn a buck tag for next year, right? Which is cool. And then before you can before you can shoot a buck, the next year in town, you have to kill 1 more doe. So it's basically 4 does to 1 buck, which just tells me that there could be something dumb living in this town, man. I mean, nobody's shooting bucks. I'm gonna shoot a buck. But this bedding area is just littered with beds. I mean, it smells like deer in here. And I'm gonna bomb through it and then 2 weeks later come back, because I mean, there's dump trucks over here. So it's a little bit different for the does. And then we'll figure out the bucks later. I'm gonna put a camera up here on this thickness. I'm gonna jump back on the edge of the tracks. I'm not on the tracks, officer. And I'm gonna try to bounce out of here. Got some other stuff to do, but edit the video.